10 years ago today, Hull City was in the FA Cup final against Arsenal. We went 2-0 up in 8 minutes, but it came at a disastrous down. Today I'll be racking through what led us up to that moment, including some of the players that helped us in the key situations on this lead up to one of the key moments in Hull City's history. 10 years ago today, so let's do it. So it started off our FA Cup journey that season on the 4th of January 2014 with a 2-0 away win against Middlesbrough at the Riverside Stadium in the third round. Our FA Cup began in North Yorkshire as Steve Bruce searched for the first win of 2014 away at Middlesbrough. Playing Liverpool on New Year's Day at Anfield, there were 9 changes to that starting 11 with Figueroa and David Myler being kept in. The latter of the duo played a key role in the opening goal, and 10 minutes in, as his deflected shot fell kindly to Aaron McLean to rifle home from close range, beating the Middlesbrough keeper to the ball. The Tigers would book their place to the 4th round in the second half, when quick feet from George Boyd saw the winger cut the ball back onto Proshowicz to produce an accomplished finish into the top corner, making it 2-0, and Hull City were through to the 4th round. These are places we've been before, but this run will lead us to places that we have never been before. Our 4th round draw was quite nice to us with a away fixture against Southend United. Of course, FA Cup's known for big upsets, but fortunate for us, there was no upset, and it was another 2-0 away win on the 25th of January 2014 at the Roots Hall Stadium. 21 days after Middlesbrough, Steve Bruce's side travelled to Roots Hall to face old boss Phil Brown as the Tigers faced Southend United. The hosts, who had ex-Hull City midfielder Will Atkinson starting, had the first opportunity of the game as captain Ryan Leonard's long throw was met by the head of Barry Corr, but a good save from Steve Harper denied the striker. Dan Bentley then denied Danny Graham as the first half ended goalless, while Michael Timlin struck the bar with an ambitious effort from range for Southend United. So half time, and it all seems square, but we do know the second half turned round for City, as 3 minutes past the hour mark, City took the lead as a well-worked team move saw Matty Fryatt place a low left-footed finish into the bottom corner. In stoppage time, Matty Fryatt beat the defender and Luke Prozor with a few step-overs before securing his brace with a powerful attempt at the near post. A fantastic 2-0 win and a brace there for Matty Fryatt. Moving on into February now, 17th of February 2014 at the MX Stadiums. That means it is Brighton / Albion that we're facing in the round 5. Not the last time we'll be playing Brighton in this, as you can probably guess, with it being a 1-1 draw away at Brighton, but things will turn around in the home fixture. So another long trip for the Tigers in round 5 of the FA Cup as they went over to the Amex Stadium to face Brighton / Hove Albion. Bruce's side looked to show their Premier League status over Championship side when Ahmed El Mohammadi's cross was converted onto the bar by Sagbo. However, it would be the Seagulls who would lead through Leonard Ulo's one-on-one finish. Curtis Davis would next strike the bar from Tom Huddleston's corner delivery as Brighton led at half-time. However, City would force a replay 5 minutes from time as Sagbo's coolly finish off Aluko's cross with a confident finish through the legs of the Brighton keeper. The Tigers would have won it late on with another Huddleston corner. This time was met by the head of David Myler, but the substitute's effort was cleared off the line by Forster Kazaki. So, comes through to the MKM Stadium, then known as the KC Stadium, in the round 5 replay on the 24th of February. So 7 days after the draw at the Amex Stadium, the Tigers welcomed the Seagulls for the 5th round replay at the KC Stadium. 2 days after producing one of the biggest away wins in the top flight with a 4-0 triumphant victory over Cardiff City, it took Bruce's side just 14 minutes into the game to open the scoring as Curtis Davis met Robert Corran's corner to place his looping header into the far corner with the aid of the post. 22 minutes later, City doubled their lead as Corran's deflected free kick was spilled into the net following a stick by the Brighton keeper. In the second half, Brighton pushed for a route back into the game as Joel Ward's cross was met by Lewis Dunk, who hit the bar with his strike before Ulola pulled a goal back late on, converting Lopez's past Steve Harper. But it wasn't enough as Hull City managed to beat that one 2-1, 3-2 on aggregate, and it was a quarter-final for Hull City. And it was going to be the first time we've been drawn a home fixture. Yes, 9th of March 2014 at the KC Stadium, Hull City to play Sunderland. It would be a 3-0 victory this time. A place at Wembley in the FA Cup final was at stake as two Premier League sides battled it out at the KC Stadium for the honour of that trip to Wembley. Figueroa hit the bar with a floated cross before City were awarded a penalty when Seb Larsson fouled Aluko. The forward stepped up, but his spot kick was saved by the Sunderland keeper. With the first half ending goalless, up stepped Curtis Davis to guide his header into the far corner when he rose the highest to meet Tom Hurlston's free kick. 4 minutes later, David Myler haunted his old side when racing through on goal to fire one-on-one before Matty Fright secured his club's first FA Cup final since 1929-1930 season. Making history here already, but it will make even more history in the next round as Hull City was to face Sheffield United in one of the most dramatic and I think it's the highest scoring FA Cup semi-final in history. So, Hull City, Sheffield United, Wembley, 13th of April 2014, semi-finals. One of the most hectic games that Wembley has saw in an 8-goal thriller for a place in the FA Cup final. However, it would be the League One side Sheffield United netting home the opener as Jose Baxter converted John Brayford's delivery. City would equalise in the 42nd minute mark when Yannick Sagbo slid in to meet Jake Livermore's low cross and fire home. But the Blades would be ahead at half-time courtesy of Skufgal's finish. 4 minutes into the second half, half-time substitute Matty Fryatt, yes, once again, coming through with a big moment in the FA Cup. He levelled up the scoring when he reacted to the quickest to the stroke of the ball home following a Tom Huddleston corner. The ex-Tottenham Hotspur then netted, picking up the goal when linking up well with both Curtis Davis and David Myler to place a left-footed finish into the far corner. Stephen Quinn would net next with his former side when heading in Livermore's cross to the back post before United pulled a goal back through Jamie Murphy to make it 4-3. However, in the 5th minute of added time, Myler was played through by Ahmed El Mohammadi to run into the box and fire the club into the first ever FA Cup final with that clinical strike. So, it's a date of destiny at Wembley. Hull City will be taking on Arsenal in the FA Cup final. 17th of May 2014, this day exactly 10 years ago. Wembley final. And it was to be a first half of dreams for City. Heading into the game, the team had already made history by reaching the first ever final, and it just got sweeter 4 minutes in as Tom Hulson volleyed Stephen Quinn's corner into the path of James Chester to divert the ball home into the bottom corner. 4 minutes later, City scored again with Curtis Davis converting one from close range as a thunderous finish from Alex Bruce almost made it 3-0. So it's 8 minutes in, 2-0 to the Tigers. What more could you want from this game other than City to go on to win it? But his header was cleared off the line. That's Alex Bruce's. Then Arsenal pull it back with a inch-perfect free kick. Coming into half-time, 2-1 to the Tigers. Feeling morale's high, feeling positive. Clinching then netted an equaliser for Arsenal less than 20 minutes to go into the game before extra time saw Giroud hit the bar with a powerful header. Then we're going into extra time. 109th minute. Aaron Ramsey scored the decisive winner for Arsenal with a low shot into the bottom corner, meaning it was not to be for Hull City 10 years ago with a 3-2 loss after extra time. Devastating, that one, considering all what we went through, the comebacks, the powerfulness, the 2-0 in 8 minutes in the final against Arsenal. But as it was at the time, it was Arsenal's tournament, wasn't it? The FA Cup was always Arsenal's, and they went on to go and prove it once again. So let's have a little look through some of the keepers who were some of the keepers, defenders, midfielders and attackers, I should say, that were a part of this brilliant run from the third round all the way through to the final. So keepers wise, 2 keepers were only used during the run, being Alan McGregor and Steve Harper. Steve Harper would be in the earlier rounds, and then Alan McGregor would be the key keeper in the end. Eldin Jakupovic was not featured on the pitch, but in some match days he was on the bench as an unused substitute in that Middlesbrough and Sheffield United game. Of course, he would go on to have a very, very good career at Hull City once he got into that starting 11. Defenders-wise, key defenders were being Curtis Davis, James Chester, Alex Bruce. Then there was also Paul McShane and Abdul Faye, who also made some key minutes. Figueroa and Ahmed El Mohammadi also had some powerful moments, and Liam Rosini, of course, now former manager of the Tigers, made a pivotal role, especially in that final. Midfielders now, David Myler, Stephen Quinn, Tom Hulson and Jake Livermore played key moments within all of the games leading up, as Robert Cohen, Robbie Brady and Henderson was some other players to round out the squads from the third round all the way through to the final. Now the forwards, of course, Matty Fryatt's the key man really from this FA Cup. He grabbed quite a few goals in the lead up to the final, and I think that he was the top scorer in the FA Cup coming into the final. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but certainly it was a key one for him. I think he grabbed quite a lot. So Yannick Sagbo, Luque, George Boyd, Danny Graham were all making rounds on the striker and forwards front. Of course, Aaron McLean, Proshovic, Geddo, and also Matthew Fletcher made round the rest of the squad. So, the date of destiny didn't work out for Hull City 10 years ago today. What will happen in the future of Hull City? Will Hull City make it back to the Premier League? Will Hull City make it back to another FA Cup final? Will they go away and win it at some point in the future? Only time will tell. So make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel here to get up to date on everything Hull City as we will crack through into the new season. And maybe this season could be it for Hull City. We could maybe see promotion. We could maybe see an FA Cup final. We could maybe see Hull City lifting that FA Cup trophy for the first time in club history. We were nearly there last time. Can this time it be it? So I will see you over in the next video. So up the Tigers. Go on.